All right, this is part 2 of single finishes. This one we're going to focus on finishes from the mat. The first finish I'm going to work on is finishing backside. All right, so when I come in and shoot on a single, always going to be in good position. Now there's two things you're going to want to do when somebody sprawls. One is you can keep the grip, knee pound back in, and pick it up to your feet. The second thing when somebody sprawls is if they sprawl too hard, you may have to let go and post your, if you're a righty shooting a righty single, then you'll post your left hand, whatever hand's forward, so that your face doesn't hit the mat. So when Steven sprawls on me and I feel like I'm deciding I'm gonna finish backside, I'll post my left hand so that my face doesn't hit the mat, all right? From this position, I like to go right to finishing backside. You do it right away, all right? So I'll show you a couple different angles. So from here, I gotta pressure in with my back leg and I cut the corner quick. What is cutting the corner? It's when I turn my hip down to the mat like this. I'm gonna turn my right hip down to the mat, not too much, I don't wanna fall to my butt fully. So I'm gonna turn my hip down to build pressure up and I start running my feet in a circle. Running my feet in a circle, I'm running behind them. Now, what I do is I don't try and just run all the way behind them. I run to get about halfway behind the person. So right to this point here. So right after I'm gonna run all the way to here, and then I'm gonna start driving into the person. So stand back up. So I shoot in, he sprawls, I post, and then I start running all the way till I'm about halfway, right to there. And then at this point, they normally have this leg up. So I drive into them to get that knee down. Because this leg up, this leg being posted like this is gonna cause you a lot of problems. So I'm gonna drive in, get that knee down. Once the knee is down, I'm gonna continue circling behind. All right? And then I'll get a better angle of this, so I guess turn this way. This is gonna be the back side of it, all right? So, after I get that knee down, I finish circling behind the person. All right, I step my right knee where the ankle is. I scoop it over. I shelf it up onto my hip. All right, so let's turn this way. This way goes. All right, so I'm here. They sprawl. I post. I run halfway. I drive in. I run the rest of the way. I step behind, slide that ankle out, shelf it up to here. Now some details. The first detail I want to go over is how tight I want to be when I'm doing this with my neck position. So when I'm in on a single and they sprawl, I want to make sure there's no space between my neck and the person's leg because I don't want my shoulder to pop out. So stand up. So when they sprawl, so go ahead and I do it kind of difficult. When they sprawl, I'm gonna glue my neck right here to their leg. And as I'm going behind the person, I'm gonna keep my neck tight to the leg. I'm not gonna let my shoulder pop out right here. So I keep my neck tight to the leg, my head's up, stay in good position. All right, because I don't, again, we talked about earlier, when we're doing single finishes from our feet, is when your head's down, he can lean his weight on top of you, and it makes it very difficult to finish. So I try and keep my head up, and I keep no space in between my neck and the person's leg. Another key point is, once I get to this position where I'm about to shelf it, where I got here, I slid the ankle, when I'm about to shelf it, I don't want to come backwards and shelf it. Just like when we were finishing the single on our feet, we drive into the person and pick the leg up. Same thing here, I'm gonna drive into Steven forwards as I shelf the leg. The reason for this is if I'm here and I go to shelf the leg and pick it up backwards, he can come into me and sit me to my butt and continue scrambling. So instead, when I make this shelf, where I reach down with my hand that was posted to the ankle, and I pick it up, I go into the person. I drive into him. So I step up and drive my shoulder into him. The last thing you're going to want to do is collect the far ankle or the knee. Don't start bringing your hand up above the knee if possible. What I mean by that is, so I guess turn around. What I mean by that is once I've shelved this leg, I do not want to go above this knee when I finish. The further I start going up to the hip or up to the waist, they're going to get a whizzer, and you're not going to be able to get the 2 points. So it's very important when you're here to make sure you collect low in the foot, on the knee, and you continue that pressure forwards. So I'm here, I shelved it up, I'm pressuring forwards, collect low, drive in, all right, and then come up the body. So the 3 biggest details I've noticed is 1, keeping your neck tight to the body, 2, driving across the person to get that knee down, and 3, shelving forwards instead of just shelving, picking that leg up and going backwards. Now, when you start trying to finish this move, a lot of times the person's going to get what's called a whizzer or a Shin Wizard. If you're very good at your positioning and your neck's really close to the body, your head's up, and you have a lot of pressure into the person, they normally will not be able to get the Shin Wizard or the whizzer. But it's still going to happen sometimes because you're not always going to be in perfect position. So when a person gets a Shin Wizard on me, I have a couple different options on how I want to finish. Alright, so we'll show a Shin Wizard real quick. So I guess I have to turn this way. So when I'm in here, single, a Shin Wizard, or is when they do a normal whizzer, but they grab either their shin or their ankle, and what they do is they'll step up with this leg as well, and they'll drive into me, so it makes it very difficult to me to go backside and finish. Alright? So when you're in this position, whizzer or Shin Wizard, the first thing we're going to try and do is fix our position and still finish backside the correct way. So, trying to get some good angles for you guys, but so we're here. He has that Shin Wizard. The first thing I'm going to do is, if I've already circled behind, like hip to hip in this position, and my shoulder's out, I'm actually going to go back out to the side because I want to fix this shoulder position. I don't want to just continue circling behind, because what that does is it tightens up the Shin Wizard and it causes more pressure. It's going to hurt your shoulder and it's going to be very difficult to finish. So if you're already hip to hip, come back out to the side and shoot your shoulder deeper. So see, I'm here, I'm going to shoot my shoulder deeper. I got to get my neck, like I said in the earlier finish, my neck glued to that thigh here. Okay? Once I do that, I glue my head to the thigh, my shoulder is out, I put it back in. Some people are still flexible, they're able to still grab their shin. I'm going to start trying to finish normal, don't let my shoulder pop out, and I'm going to start attacking the fingers of the person. So start attacking these fingers and continue to try and finish the first way we did. So I'll attack the fingers, I'm keeping that pressure in tight, I'll move this with, move the ankle with my knee, and I'll still try and finish the same way here. Alright? But sometimes, you know, it's hard to get that shoulder back in. If there's a lot of pressure and I can't fix my shoulder position, I'm not going to try and finish backside like that anymore. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to try and shelf the leg with my opposite leg that I normally do, pick it up to the air, and finish with a sweep. Alright? So if I'm here, and I can't really get my shoulder back into good position, I'm not able to finish the correct way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to step up with my opposite leg, my right leg in this case, and shelf it onto this hip. Alright? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start standing up to my feet. One caution, be careful, it's very common for somebody to dive and roll underneath you from this position. So as I stand up, I kind of keep my left hand kind of blocking and use it to pose so he doesn't do anything crazy. As I get up to my feet, I'm going to lock my hands, I'm going to pull this up tight. I want it tight. If you're on the knee, it's fine. It's definitely probably better to be further down towards the ankle, but I like to just sweep it fast anyways. So after I get up on his feet, see how the leg is on the outside, the traditional way. Here, finishing what we went over last time, on the inside. Alright, it's not that way, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our left hand, alright, I'm going to slap him in the head, and I'm going to sweep him with my right foot. Alright, so I'm here, I'm just going to come here. Alright. So I'll show from the ground one more time. They have a Shin Wizard or a tight Wizard. You can't finish backside anymore. but you're on the side, a little bit of the side of the person right here from here. Step up, shelf, start picking it up, come here. All right, keep this grip tight, focus on keeping them in this position. Then I'm gonna step in, my left, slap, and sweep down there. I have finished forward from this position. You gotta be careful, but it kind of surprises people because the normal way to finish from here is the way I just showed, slap, finishing backwards. But sometimes what I'll do is I'll grab the head and I'll actually sweep forwards. I'll pull them forwards. Be careful of rolls. You gotta know what you're doing. As long as you know what's coming, you're actually, you know, we teach that it's okay to do it. It's okay, like, if I do this move, he can roll and grab my leg and scramble. But if I'm aware of that, I can still hit the move and finish correctly. So, finishing forwards from this out pass position, I'm here, I'm just gonna trip forwards here. But you see I got low, I posted my left hand after the trip, made sure he didn't grab anything. Or maybe I want him to grab my leg. If he does, then I can do a cradle. So, risky moves are okay, as long as you really understand that position and you could be baiting the person or tricking the person into doing something they shouldn't be doing. Alright, so the next thing I'll do in the Shin Wizard, because sometimes it's very difficult to pick it up all the way to your feet from that position. Again, the better the person is at the Shin Wizard, I kind of flow down this line. I go, try to finish backside, try to shelf it. Alright, the next one I try to do here, I do the same shelf, but I'm not going to pick it all the way up to my feet. So I step up and shelf it. Alright, but from this position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right leg that was shelved, and I'm going to step it behind his foot. Alright, and then I'm going to go into the person, and as I go into it, I'm going to take my left hand and reach for this ankle or the foot. So I'm going to come here and collect and drive in. I'm almost hitting like a penetration step. So I have it shelved, I step behind and do a penetration step and grab that ankle. Even if they slip the ankle out, you can still catch it and get your two. The one caution I have, I do see people trying, they have a single here and they'll try and like finish double, like here. It's gonna work sometimes, and I think that's what people get, like a false confidence that it's like a great move. But I really don't want to attack in front too much from the single. So reason being is if I go to a double, I'm gonna extend myself out. And many times they're going to sprawl out on me. So as you're doing this, don't get extended too much. Step, right? Drive into him to his hip and finish that from that position right there. All right?
You use that one to shelf it. You do that and step out and then you pull it.
No, I don't. Because it's on the outside, so it's like I do that.
Up to your feet. Like go here. Go here. You step this. Maybe you just. Yeah. Maybe you step it to baby to go here, now you stand up with it.
Oh, that's kind of nice. Right. Alright, so what we were just discussing right there is similar to what we were doing on our feet. Steven showed when you're on your feet and you can't pick it up to your armpit, you could step your foot behind the person, trip them, and then pick it up. So well, we can try to do that from the same position. I've never done it in a match, but I'm sure wrestling's wrestling and these techniques kind of all flow together as long as it kind of makes sense. So I step behind his foot. If he slips out, so he steps in, slips out, he's created this leg. This leg just became lighter because he just put more weight on this leg and he spread himself out. So because this leg became lighter, I can then pick it up and finish on my feet. And the normal rule for finishing shots is get to your feet. If you can get to your feet, your chances of scoring increase, just statistics-wise. Like shots on your feet finish a lot more than shots on the mat. So if you can get to your feet, definitely try and do that. Alright, so the next thing we're going to go over is finishing out the back door. Okay? So there's two general methods to finishing out the back door. One I would say is more traditional. It's when you come to both knees. The other one is where you sit to your butt. I'll show sitting to your butt first, and then we'll go, we'll do finishing from your knees. So if I shoot in and the person sprawls, I'm going to go right to backside because I got to have something to go to right away. I don't want to just like be waiting. So I start going to backside right away. But if the person I'm wrestling squares up with me, so he doesn't allow me to go backside, so I start circling, he squares up, But see how I'm on my toes? I was trying to circle, I was on my toes. If he, as I circle behind, he squares up, I'm building pressure into the person. So from here, I'm gonna sit, so I'm gonna take my left leg, in this case, and sit it through to my butt. So I'm gonna go here and sit it through to my butt. All right, the benefit to finishing a single leg on your butt, okay, is that they can't grab the ankles very easily. The negative is that you can't move as easily on your butt versus on your knees. But as long as you master one, it doesn't matter. All right, so sit to your butt. You're gonna attack whatever leg you like. I suggest normally staying on the leg that you shot to, so I attack single here. All right, now depending on how the situation goes, you may end up in a single finishing backside. So don't grab onto me, Steven. So if I sit all the way through, I'm in a single shelved here, and I finish that way. The other way is I'll be here, and I'll try to finish, but I'll finish, he'll be on his hip. So it normally comes like that. All right, so I'm gonna come this way a little more. Back a little bit. So the second way is you'll be here and you'll go to finish and you'll end up on your hip. Now this position is the same whether I'm coming up on my knees out the back door or on my butt. This is the most common position when you come out the back door. It's probably the most common finish from the mat. You end up on your side here, you have one leg, you gotta get this leg off, you gotta control this leg. What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna take your opposite hand and shoot it to the ankle. You're gonna pull that ankle into your stomach, all right? I'm gonna take my top leg and hook it and step it back. I gotta really have good control of this leg. Stretching his hamstring out. Then I'm gonna take my hand that just grabbed the ankle and push it on this knee and try and pop my head out. All right, as I'm doing this, I've gotta be careful. I'm wrestling on my hip right now. This means I'm not very mobile and it's very easy for my opponent to continue the scramble. Like, for example, he could step over me pretty easily because I don't have any post over here to stop him. So after I pop my head out, I've got to shoot this bottom knee right into him. So this bottom knee is, I'm on my hip here, I'm going to pop it out and shoot this bottom leg into him like that. So it's a bang. That's to make sure that he can't hip over, that's to keep the pressure into him and be able to finish getting some back points, all right? And always, if you ever get in this position, finish with a Turk. All right, we won't go over the technique, but you're hooking it here, finishing there, stacking the hips when you do it. All right, so that's sitting out the back door. Now we go to the knees. When you go to the knees, again, the benefit is you're a little more mobile and you're also getting more height. When you sit to your butt, the person kind of has both his feet and his arms are very easily, can easily touch the ground and kind of use all those points. But beginning's the same. I shoot my shot, person sprawls, I post, I start going backside, he circles. This pressure is big, it's gonna allow you to shoot underneath. So with this, I'm gonna shoot both of my knees as deep as I can, and I'm gonna scoop under the person. So, boom, and then right when I shoot underneath, I come back up. So I shot underneath, and I come back up. This has gotta be very quick, this finish from your knees, because your ankles are gonna be exposed, and it's gonna be difficult to finish if they get a good hold of them. So, as I pop up, I go under, I pop up, I'm gonna punch, I'm gonna push and pull. So I'm gonna push the left knee, pull the single I have. Push, pull. As I push, pull, hide my ankles, always worried about hiding your ankles. So as I push, pull, I'm gonna hide my ankles. All right, so what I did with my ankles is I just swing them like that to not allow them to grab it. All right, and then you're just gonna cover from there. This position can play out a lot of different ways, but the general way, the most basic way is if you went like this and you circle and finish there. Now, more often than not, you're gonna end up on your hip again, like the position we were when we sat to our butt. So you'll come up here, you'll go to finish, they might grab your ankle or something, and you'll end up kind of more here. When you're here, it's the same thing. I'm gonna control this bottom leg, pull it in, hook it, then focus on this top, leg, push it off. Again, I gotta be careful about them rolling me over, so after I push it off, this bottom knee is gonna come up and point into them. So my knee is pointing into his head. Having your knee pointed to the head also stops him from scrambling. So, yeah, we'll come this way, more. So when I'm finishing from this position, if my knee, see my right knee, is pointed towards his feet, it's very easy for him to scramble and it's difficult for me to finish. So what I'm gonna wanna do is when I'm here and I scoop this ankle here, I'm gonna step up and point my knee towards the head. Here, all right? So that allows the person, it stops the person from scrambling. Even if he gets your ankle a little bit, I'm gonna keep pointing my knee towards his face, and I might cross face or sprawl back. All right, so another way we can finish if we can't get out the back door, and we can't go backside, you can, what's called a head wheel, or you can go to a double on the opposite side. So this kind of depends on your preference, but I'm shot the single, person sprawls, I post. All right, this is especially good if they haven't sprawled too far away from you. So if they're kind of in a tall sprawl here and you're still kind of trying to finish, right? I'm not gonna really go out the back door here because my head's not down, I'm not really in the position to go out the back door. I could finish backside, but this is probably the quickest finish, all right? I can post if I want, or I keep my hands locked. All right, I'm just gonna step up, and I'm gonna like do a knee penetration towards this opposite foot, and I'm gonna pull him to his right hip. Like my arm's gonna go down to the mat. All right, so I'm here, I shot my single, I'm just gonna penetrate to this side and pull that single in. So instead of just penetrating into him and pulling the single in tighter, I'm gonna penetrate at a different angle towards that other foot, pull it in. Another very important thing when you're doing the head wheel is the head, right? You gotta use your head, kind of bring it to the other side. So head motion wise, watch how my head, it's on the chest. I'm gonna shoot my leg to this side and get my head in like a double position, all right? And again, you can either keep this single and whip it down like that, or as you're doing this penetration and bringing your head to the other side, you can switch to a double. So if I'm here, person gives me a light sprawl, maybe I post or I have this locked, I can do the same thing, all right? Sprawling me a little more, like that. You gotta have the feel for it. Every situation is gonna be different. So in this situation, it would be perfect to hit this. So I'm gonna penetrate more this way and turn. So I penetrate and turn. All right, that was the lower portion, so it gave you some detail on that, but on the upper portion, now watch my head this time. All right, they sprawl. I penetrate, my head's up, and my right hand drops to that knee. All right, and I pull it in. All right, drive in. All right, there's many different variations of these. The main thing when you're doing singles is the position. Your head's up. All right, your hips are in, your back straight. You don't want to be in these positions here where you're laid out and the person's sprawling super hard and you're trying to just drive in and finish. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna look and see if I can do stuff. Stay right there underneath and then I'll jump back in like it was nothing. Definitely have at least one more.
So we got singles. What about the ankle roll?
Get double the other side.
Did you do that one from the Shin Wizard?
Oh, no, I'm gonna do the whip, the limp arm.
From the Wizard?
Yeah, from the Wizard.
You could just leave it at that and do Shin Wizard specific.
Then I'm gonna do the arm trap. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna trap my arm and I'm gonna do that one that I did that trick one that I did that one time. Alright, so I'm gonna show you one more thing coming out the back door, kind of backtracking because I missed a couple techniques I wanted to go over. So when I come out the back door, sometimes they're gonna lock and trap your other arm. So we're here, we build up the pressure, especially if you're not quick. I think being quick from coming out the back door is very important because they can kind of tie you up very quickly. So say I didn't bring this hand in here quick enough to push and pull, they trap me. When they trap me, what I do is I take them to the side of the single and I put them to their back. So I take them to this side and put them to their back. From this position, I walk my feet across their head and I transition to a double. Like I put my head, or high crotch, I put my head on the other side, I keep circling, and now this hand is going to be closer to the knee. Alright, this left hand is not going to be closer to grab the leg. Even if you can't grab the leg, you can keep them here, get them scared, and then you'll be able to get that double or high crotch and finish circling around. It's a little trick move, but I think, you know, these things are going to be necessary, and just like when you're on your feet doing the single, you're going to make your series from there. You know, you're going to have a nice flow to it. You got to have a nice flow when you're finishing these moves. One other thing I want to go over quick is one last thing I would do from the Shin Wizard. Again, I'm sorry for backtracking, but I want to catch everything for you guys. So I'm here, and they're in the Shin Wizard. The last resort I'm going to go to is going to be a limp arm. All right. When I limp arm, what I'm going to do is build up the pressure. Right? The reason why I have to limp arm is because they have so much pressure. I can't even pick it up at all. You know, this is kind of why it's going to work. It's because I tried it as a last resort. When you try it first and they don't have too much pressure, they're not going to like fall over, and the finish isn't really going to be there. So I'm here, I try picking it up, I try going backside. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm driving into him, I'm going to circle behind him, hit him with my right knee in his butt, and I'm going to turn my palm to the ceiling, my palm's facing the ceiling, and I'm going to slide shoulder out first, like this, shoulder, and I'm going to just turn your face away and pull it out like that, all right? And just continue that rotation to score, all right, to get the 2. So my lower body is going to be running and hitting him in the butt at the same time. It's not really just like a knee like that, but in a lot of ways it is. So I'm here, I go here, I bump in, I slide. So it's got that leg kind of bumping forward. I slide and cover, all right? Okay, so that's all I got for the techniques. Again, there's definitely plenty more ways to finish from a single, but I can show you guys kind of what it might look like, give you a couple different variations like we did in the last video. So here, that's all we got from singles, finishes from the mat. Let us know what else you guys want to see for the next series. Until next time, Iron Faith Wrestling, let's get it.